Hey guys, welcome everybody for the next episode of Podcast with Runners. It's always a very exciting thing for me to do this. Last podcast, I was so glad that my good friend GV Ganesh did this podcast for me. So for me, it is kind of a couple of at least 4 or 5 weeks of hiatus before I come back to this podcast. And let me tell you guys, this has always been my highlight because I get a chance to connect with current and past runners, talk about their journey, learn from them. And this time it's even more special because as you can see in the screen, I'm surrounded by three beautiful, cute girls who have, been an excellent runner for, last season. And they're also doing a great job now. I cannot wait to introduce them to all of you and also hear from them about their experiences and their journey. So let's start with the introduction and I'll allow them to introduce themselves. Please go ahead. Guest one, introduce
Hi,
yourself.
hi, my name is Sanjana. I am 10 years old. I'm going into 5th grade and and I am a three-time half marathon, a two-time half marathoner. My mom and dad also are in the season. My dad is an assistant coach. My Periman, Perima, Shuja, and Raghu, who's in the previous podcast, are also in the season. Suja is my assistant coach, and my Chitti from in India, Swati, is also in the season.
Just to make sure in case you guys didn't miss it, she's all of 10 years old and she is now training for her third half marathon. Now, just that itself is a mind-blowing stat. Sanjana, I am so proud to have you join us. You are an amazing, human being, a powerful girl. Girl power symbol is you for the world to see. You're just 10 years old and you are into your third half marathon. How many 10-year-olds can say that? I cannot wait to listen to you and hear your story. Sanjana, thanks for coming in. And of course, she is the daughter of the mighty Superman, Srivats, who is our one of our super fast full marathoners. He's also an assistant coach. His mother is Aparna. I'm sure you would have interacted with her in Walk with the Coach. They are all been running for a long time. Sanjana is sort of the product of the Boston Bazookas stronghold, so to speak. One of the kids, one of the juniors who are kind of taking over the world in the Boston Bazooka world. And as she said, she's surrounded by assistant coaches and runners and half marathoners and full marathoners, all of them in Runners High with Bala. So this has been a long time coming to get Sanjana into the podcast. And I'm so delighted. Welcome, Sanjana, and can't wait to talk to you and hear more from you. With that, let's invite the second guest. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Anushka Gupta. I'm 12 years old, and this week I'm going into seventh grade. I live in Edison, New Jersey, and this is my second season with Runners High. Last season I did a 10K, and this season I'm doing a 12K.
That's awesome, Anushka. Welcome. First time going into middle school face to face, isn't it? With COVID and such. Last year, you probably missed the middle school altogether. Is that right?
Yeah,
So, are you excited to go to middle school for the first time in your life?
yeah,
And a little bit nervous too, isn't it?
yeah.
That's awesome, Anushka. And Anushka's mom, your mom, is she a runner? What is she?
She runs too. This will be her second half marathon.
There you go. Her mom is Shilpa, an excellent runner herself. She ran her first half marathon last season, and this season she's continuing to do another half marathon. So again, family of runners. Anushka is also a great runner. She's going for a 12K right now, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
she's training for 10K, but she's confident enough to move up a little bit and get to 12K. Well done. That's a courageous decision, Anushka, and can't wait to talk about your experiences. With that, let's invite guest number three.
Hi, my name is Suhani Nanda. I am 12 years old, and just like Anushka, I'm also going into my first year of middle school, seventh grade. I live in Fairfax, Virginia, and this is my second season. This year, I am doing a 10K, and last season, I ran my first ever half marathon.
First ever half marathon last season. All of when you were in sixth grade, is that right? You were in sixth grade
I
last
was in
time.
sixth grade, yeah.
Yeah, 12 years, and a 10-year-old. Tell me, guys, isn't that a proud moment for any coach to have such guests talking about their already completed half marathons and 10Ks? Such really a proud moment for me. Suhani, I'm sure you're, tell me a little bit about your parents.
My dad, he's also a runner. He ran my half marathon with me, and part of the reason I ran it was because of him, and he really motivated me to run it. And my mom ran a 10K last year, and this season, both my parents are running, and my little sister is also running a 10K this year.
Oh, so it's a family of runners, huh? You haven't told your dad and mom's names for the audience.
My mom's name is Suki Sani, and my dad's name is Shivananda.
Wonderful. So Suki Sani, audience, if you remember, some time ago, I'd sent a wonderful podcast of Suki Sani talking about a career, especially eliciting an important message. You need, what is that? Desire. Before you desire, you need to deserve. Deserve first, and then desire later. That was a very nice, catchy message from her. Very successful communications expert. And Suhani, I think already I'm seeing that you have some of your mom's genes in your communication style. Very nice. So with that, welcome ladies, welcome girls to this podcast. I am so glad that you are here. Thank you for your time. So this time, let us start with Anushka. Anushka, my first question to all of you is, how did you start, or how did you even get into this training program? I mean, you are all of what, 11 years old when you got into this training program. Typical 11-year-old is not thinking about getting into a running training program, right? So how did you guys get into the running program? What led you to this?
So when I was little, I loved to do a short distance running, which was sprinting. I had actually joined this track and field program when I was little, and every day after I would come back, I would like tell my parents that my feet hurt so much due to flat feet. And at that time, we were new to running, so we didn't know that you could have like custom soles, custom shoes, all those things. So I was pretty much new to running, and I had seen that my one of my friends named Thea Runchen has been doing running for a long time, and she was always running. And I really wanted to give this program a try, so I decided to start the program, and here I am now.
Wow, what a cute story. People always can get inspired in multiple paths, through multiple ways. Um, Getting inspired by one of your best friends. I gather Dia Ranjan is your best friend. Is that right, from school, Anushka?
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting inspired by your best friend is one of the real cool ways of doing something great. And that's why, right, kids, your parents must have told you guys, it's very important to have a good quality friends, because friends can inspire all of you. So if you have a solid set of friends, uh, whom you can learn from and whom you can motivate and inspire, that's the best circle of friends. And friends are always great. So it's really nice. Tia, if you're hearing this, you did a great job in inspiring Anushka. And look at Anushka here. She's a guest right now. Wonderful, Anushka. Welcome. Great story. What about you, Suhani?
Like Anushka, I also, well, me, my dad, we also got inspired by a couple of our friends. My friend Arnav, 2 seasons ago, I believe, he ran his first half marathon with his dad, and they also ran the last season too. We got inspired by them and a couple other family friends. And I also do play basketball, which is pretty much short distance running back and forth on the court. And I didn't have the best stamina. So I'd be like huffing and puffing, like trying to catch my breath while like trying to dribble, steal the ball. And part of the reason that my dad also put me in this is to increase my stamina and long distance running. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's Arnav, who is our, I think 2 seasons ago,
Yes.
he also finished a half marathon, isn't it?
He
I
did
think he
two
has
half.
done two half marathons,
Yes.
right? Along with his dad, Anil, right? Anil, no,
Yes.
not Anil, Ajit. Ajit
Yes.
and Arnav. And I think their entire family ran as well, isn't it?
Yes, I think Ari ran a 10K and so did their mom. Yeah.
Yeah, and they all like same. It's a story of full family running, and this season they took a summer break, and they said they'll come back for the next season as well.
Yep.
That's amazing. Thank you, Arnav and Ajit, for inspiring little Suhani and her entire family. And Suhani, I think even your sister is running this
My
season, isn't
sister,
it?
yeah, my sister is 8, and she gets bragging rights because she's the youngest person in our family to ever be running.
There you go.
So she came
She's
second.
not only in your family, I think she's very close to one of the youngest in our entire group. I think the
Oh,
youngest one is a 7-year-old or a six and a
yeah.
half year old. So, there's not many between 6.5 and 8 who are running. So I'm so proud of your sister too. Amazing. And you are a standing example for her.
Thank you.
Very nice, Suhani. Well done. What about you, Sanjana? How did you get into running?
Well, I saw my parents running, and all I would hear them talk about was running, FS, Strava, heart rate, cadence, pace, and it got annoying, but it was also interesting at the same time. I'm like, what are they talking about? So, and it just felt really interesting to figure out what they were talking about. So I decided I would like to start running, and I wanted so that's how I started running.
And you were what, all of 9 years old when you decided, or 8 years old when you
Eight,
decided?
eight and a
8 years old, 8.5. Just parents here, just see that. See the impact of, uh, you know, doing the right thing and talking about good things, and kids will automatically get inspired because they don't know what else can they do. Morning to night, if Sanjana so comically put, file search, Strava, CP, base pace, if that's all she's hearing, she said, okay, if I can't fight it, I might as well join it, right, Sanjana? I think that's how you decided this. At the ripe age of 8 years, she decided to jump in. Wow, what an inspiring story, you three girls already. I'm getting goosebumps when I hear you guys talk. Awesome. Okay, so let's keep moving. Let's talk. Now that you joined the training program, and the training program obviously is for 16 weeks, and it's not a walk in the park, as you all know. There's a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of sweat, blood, and tears. If not blood, definitely sweat and tears, I'm sure. So let's start with Suhani. What are some of the highlights that you can think of during
Um,
your training?
Ooh, okay. So, like I said before, I've never run in my entire life, and I think one highlight was when me and my dad first ran. Or well, he's run before, but when I first ran 2 miles without stopping, I was over the moon excited about that because I was like, you know what, maybe I actually have a chance of running 13 miles. Another our highlight was when we ran our 10 miles in Arizona. It was kind of like a destination run. Never have, it was so hot outside, and we woke up really early in the morning, got our run done, and then went into the pool, and it felt so good to be done. And like I mentioned, I run with my dad, and he motivated me so much to go and run and to complete this. And the only reason I did this was because of him. So without him, I probably couldn't be able to run half marathon. But yeah.
That's awesome. Guys, dads and moms here, these are precious moments, guys, with your kids. When Suhani grows old and becomes 35 years old, I am sure she will remember these moments, won't you? When I was seventh standard, sixth grade, I was running with my dad. It was good. I went to Arizona, did a 10-mile run, jumped into the pool. That was a highlight. I will remember that for the rest of my life. Why just for 10, 15 years? So I think just parents here, you guys should get inspired when you hear these things from the kids. These are things that are etched in their memory. Doing something together is always a pleasure. And when you do this together, is a hard one. It's even more pleasurable, not during it, but after you finish it. Of course, during it, it's painful. But it's a very nice, Swani. Thanks for kind of capturing that for us. Sanjana, what about you? What are some of the things that you remember from your training season?
Well, for me, I originally started off as an 8K runner.
Yeah.
So, you and a few of the other New Jersey runners had come to Boston, and we did a group long run. You saw how I ran and said I should switch to a half marathon. So I switched to a half marathon.
Just wait, let's hold for a second. Think about this. She is all of 8.5 years old or something around that age group at that time. She
9.
signed up for a 8K. Okay. And I come to Boston, and I have a joint long run along with a lot of people there, and I see Sanjana run. And what I see Sanjana's run is that she's sort of gliding through the air, like a CP at its best, where she is not even exerting herself, and it's like like a steam engine in equilibrium, smoothly. She's just gliding through the sort of the road. And I was just looking at her and I said, she's not even exerting. And she's about to finish 8 miles by the 8K at that time. And I told her dad that, hey, dude, I think she is something else. You're wasting her if you just make her run 8K. And her dad was telling me that, hey, but I'm not sure. She's just 8.5 years old. I said, so what? Like, let her try. And if she sort of struggles or whatever, and you can always come back, nothing wrong. And I just left it at that. And then Srivatsan and Aparna decided, okay, let's go in. And I think that's how you converted. Is that right, mid-season, Sanjana?
Yeah.
And how did that work after conversion to half marathon training?
I mean, when it switched, I had to jump all the way from 2 miles to 3.5 miles. It was painful.
Okay. And then what happened?
I got used to it after a while. The distance got longer, it got harder since it was still my first season.
Yeah.
And it's got painful and then it was good, painful and then it was good.
So so the message here, audience, pain is something that you have to get used to. Is that right? All three, would you agree, right?
Definitely.
Pain is, you can't run away from pain. You just have to manage the pain. And I think I've reached the stage where I enjoy pain. The way I enjoy pain is because when I enjoy pain, I know that after pain, when I begin to enjoy, if I start enjoying pain, imagine how much I can enjoy when there is no pain. So it's all a mind game, right? So I just look forward to pain a little bit, because knowing that pain means good pain, not like a very, very horrible pain. Of course, we can't do anything about it. A little bit of discomfort. I would say discomfort is the right word for it. I look forward to discomfort because that is training. That's what training is all about. So Sanjana, that was so amazing that you decided, you agreed your coach recommendation. A lot of runners, you should know, when let's say when I tell that, hey, you guys should upgrade, they don't do that. They don't upgrade, because they overthink. Man, I don't know whether I can do it. Okay, coach is saying blah, blah, blah. But here you are, 8.5 years old. You didn't think much. You just jumped in. And as a result, what is happening? You are into your third half marathon training at the ripe age of 10. How amazing is that? Incredible. Congrats, Sanjana. What about you, Anushka? How was your training experiences?
My highlights of my season were probably when one of the destination runs. It was when most of the runners in the runners high, we went to New York and we ran there. It was really fun because it was really nice sight, and it was really nice having lots of people running with you because I felt more motivated, and like it was more fun just running with everyone.
Absolutely. Destination runs are always fun. She talked about Arizona, you're talking about New York City, when you go on vacations. So that's another thing, girls. Forget about runners high for now. As you're growing up, I'm sure you will do a lot of vacations or colleges here and there. Maybe you will start working, and as a result, you will do business, travel here and there. So even during those times, running should be your best friend, because when you go to a new city, you want to explore the city. What's the best way to explore the city? Wear a shoe and start running. When you do that, you actually see the city as opposed to going in Uber from one place to a restaurant, for instance. Okay, so remember that, and it'll be a good friend. Running is a very good friend for you. Okay, that was highlights. What about lowlights? What are some of the low points that you had to conquer? Let's start this time with Sanjana.
For me, it was running my first 10-mile run. It's a very long distance, and most of the time I was just walking because I was in a lot of pain, like on my ankle. It was just like so much pain there. So
Uh-huh.
I was most of the time I was walking.
Yeah. So that was like, that, especially the first 10-mile run you're talking about, right?
Yeah, first.
Yeah, where you don't know what you're getting into. 10 miles is a serious distance. It's not an easy run. 10 miles is more than your age in miles. So, yeah, I mean, congratulations for attempting it. and doing that. Very nice. What about you, Suhani? What was the worst part of your training?
Um, okay. I think probably when we ran 9 miles, um, I remember after like the fifth mile, I was done. I like paused my watch. I sat on the side of like on the sidewalk and I started crying. And my dad was like, Suhani, you need to get up. You need to continue running. What will Coach Bala think if you stop? He can see your heart rate. And I was like, I don't care. I'm done. Go back home. Can we like leave? He's like, no, get up. We're going to do this. So around the next 2 miles, he was just like talking to me and they like flew by. And then, that motivated me to continue running. Although by the end of it, I was completely wiped out. I was done, and I
Yeah,
didn't think I was ever gonna run again.
I know,
That's
right?
not the hardest. Yeah.
It's always good to remember those hard times. When you remember those hard times, what happens is you start cherishing those good times. Unless you remember the bad times, if let's say, imagine your life, you only have good times, you will not have any value for good times. That's what running teaches you. Unless you have a bad day, you will not enjoy the good day, right? So that's the same thing in life. Unless you have a bad, some failure in life, you will not enjoy the success that much. If you always are successful, or your dad and mom are always giving you everything that you need in your life without even you trying, what's the fun in it? you know there should be times when you want something desperately but you didn't get it, and you feel very disappointed, you cry, all that happens. And then after 1 month you want something desperately and you got it. Imagine the pleasure you would have, right? That's what running teaches you for real life too. Enjoy the good days, but also remember bad days are important to learn from, so that you can enjoy the good days doubly. So really nice. What about you, Anushka? Tough times, what are they, some of the tough times?
I remember once I had a 5 mile run, and me and my mom were going to go on in a park called Roosevelt Park. We're going to run there. And I think it was the third mile, I started getting like cramps, and it was really, really uncomfortable. And I just like had to just completely stop. It was really bad. And then I remember my mom came and was like, come on, let's go do it. We're not done yet. And I just said, I'm not doing this. It's really uncomfortable. I just want to stop. And then she's like, well, Bal Uncle will see that you paused your watch because it'll show extra time. And I was like, I don't care. I just want.
Same thing many parents have tried. They've used my name and it didn't really work, it looks like. Okay, I will remember this. Anushka, that's fine. So cute. But the good news is you managed to finish it somehow, and you are here as a special guest for the podcast. Really nice. Really nice. Okay, so let's go into a half marathon or a 10K day. How did that go, Anushka? Swani, why don't you start this time?
Okay, so I have many memories of my first half marathon. I think so we went to our half marathon around a local park near our house, and by the time everybody was up and we got there, it was still like pitch black outside because we wanted to start to run early because the sun was going to come out, and nobody really wanted to waste their entire day running. So we set up, and I remember the first 4 miles were a breeze, pretty simple and easy pace, and I never really noticed myself running, if that makes sense. Like it never felt like I was running, like I was forced to do it. I felt very free spirited and just I was just enjoying it until we got to the last 3 miles where you had to push really hard. And our couple of our family friends were they had like these big posters and they were driving in the car like yelling me and my dad's names like you can do it, come on. And they were like yelling and people kept staring at us because we were being so loud. And my friend, they brought their dog who was just like jumping on the side. And I think that was very motivating for me to see that I have people who support me, and that when we crossed the finish line and I finally paused my watch for what felt like 2 hours, forever, it felt so good and I felt so accomplished. I
Yeah.
mean, not many people have ran a half marathon. So to do that, I'm very proud of myself for being able to do
Top 1%, lady.
it. Yep.
Top 1% of the US population. Not a joke. And you guys are like just not even getting started. At the rate at which you guys go, by the time you are in my age, you might have finished like 70 half marathons or something, or some crazy number like that, you know. So amazing, amazing. You know, it's always when you crossed and when you just finished the 13.1 mile, do you remember the feeling you had?
Yes, that point one, my dad, he ran a little bit faster than I did, so he finished a little bit earlier. And that point one, I like ran. I was just sprinting it, and I remember my calf muscle. That sadly I had to get a cramp like right then and there, but I pushed so hard, and when I finally paused the watch, I like sat down and nearly started crying. I felt like I don't know how to explain it. It felt so good and it didn't really settle in that I actually ran a half marathon until like a couple days later. And yeah, it was amazing.
Fantastic, Suhani. Congratulations. How long it took for you to finish your half?
2 hours, 40 minutes.
2 hours and 40 minutes for a first time half marathoner is a mind blowing achievement. Just so you know, my first half marathon after training for, I don't know, 20 weeks. Of course, I didn't have the benefit of Coach Bala to help me at that time. I just ran with my own thought process and I struggled and I rolled and crawled and did all the things that I could do to somehow finish 3 hours, 5 minutes, my first half marathon. And after I finished, I could not even put one step in front, and somebody had to literally lift me and take me to the car. That's how I was, because I wasn't like trained properly in the way you guys are all. So compared to that, for a 12-year-old or 11 and a half or 11-year-old at that time to do a 2 hours 40 to start with, unbelievable achievement. Congratulations, Sohani. I'm so proud of you. Anushka, what about you?
So my race day, I remember we had woken up pretty early because my race time was at nine in the morning. So even though that the race day was like in the pandemic, it felt like an actual race day with the amount of people and stations and like the amount of people that were there to cheer you on. It's like you had to keep going. Um, so, and then after I finished, I felt really accomplished and proud that I had done something so amazing. And then after we had the medal ceremony, and after I got my medal, I felt so accomplished because that was my first medal ever.
Amazing. Is it in how long it took for you, Anushka?
1 hour for 6.2 miles, it took 1 hour and 10 minutes.
That's another wonderful pace. Absolutely a wonderful pace. Wonderful. Congratulations. Do you have any plans for doing a half marathon at some point in the future?
Yeah, after this season, we're planning to do a half marathon.
Oh, okay. So you're coming back in the winter season for a perfect time to train for a half marathon. You don't have to run in heat. That reminds me, you guys have done both summer and winter season. What do you guys like better, summer season or the winter season training?
Winter.
Winter,
100%
right?
winter.
You remember those winter season times when everybody's saying, "Oh my God, how do I run on the snow and ice and all that?" Uh, and I was telling guys, this is far better. You know, wear the right clothing and run. This is like heaven, as opposed to the other way around, right, Sanjana? You agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Running in summer heat is crazy, isn't it? Good stuff. So, what about you, Sanjana? How was your race day?
For my first half marathon, I was running with my dad, and um, so for the first couple of miles, I felt good. I was running a decent pace. Then at the eighth mile, I just had a really bad ankle sprain. I was literally crying. So, and I haven't cried before when I am in that much pain. So I had to walk for a while, run a little, walk for a while, run a little. But I still made it through the half marathon and
My
finished.
God, what a beautiful, with an ankle pain going for 6 miles after finishing 8 miles at the age of what, eight and a half? That is something. Nine. Okay, that is something, Sanjana. And then what happened? How long it took for you to finish the first one?
For the first one, it was 4 hours.
4 hours you had to take. So let me pause for a second now. Some people might think, slow is better. It's easier than running faster. But let me tell you, if you're running slow, that means you have to run for a longer time. Imagine you doing this for 4 full hours as opposed to 2 hours, 40 minutes. How excruciating it is to run 1 hour, 40 minutes more or 1 hour, 20 minutes more on the road. And that too, after you finish 2 hours, 40. If it was the first 1 hour 40, it was easy. The last 1 hour 40 means it's excruciating. And that too, if like Sanjana, if she had an ankle pain and such, that is where mental strength comes in. It's only because of mental strength, Sanjana, you were able to do that. And how proud I am. So that was your first one. What happened to your second one?
My second one was much better.
Okay.
This time I was running on my own, and this time I decided the day I was gonna run. It turns out the day I picked happened to be the most coldest, most windiest day of the week. But I still stuck with it.
Okay.
And it was worth it. So I was feeling good. I wasn't tired, and I was just it just felt good. And then now and then, my my dad ran 2 miles with me. My mom ran 2 miles with me. Then my grandma ran 2 miles with me, and that all kept me going. And then finally at the end, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa all ran with me, and that just really helped me so much. They would just
Amazing.
saying, "Go on, you're almost there," and that one was way better than my first one.
So you didn't have any pain or any pain attack in the middle.
No.
Wow. And
But
you were
yes,
what, 10 years?
kind of did. I kind
Okay.
of did, but it wasn't exactly a pain attack.
Got it. And then you had the entire family running the last half mile with you or something.
Mm-hmm.
What a fun time it must have been, huh?
Yes.
Everybody running with you to make you finish the last half mile. And how long it took for you to finish your second half?
2 hours 44 minutes, and that was a
Woo,
surprise since I was expected to get 2 hours 49 minutes.
whoo, whoo. Look at that. 4 hours. And then 2 hours. Did you say 2 hours, 41 minutes?
44.
2 hours, 44 minutes. A 1 hour, 16-minute PR improvement. It's just almost unprecedented PR improvement. Wow. At the ripe young age of, is it 10 and a half now?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Yes, technically, yes. 10 and a half, 9 and a half, 10 and a half, 4 hours to 2 hours, 44 minutes. What a brilliant achievement. Guys, I am having a hair rising experience just listening to your race day, 2 hours 40, Suhani, 2 hours 44, Sanjana, 1 hour, 10 minutes of 10K, and half marathon is coming very soon to this girl here. And a mom is in her second half marathon already. And I know that, Anushka is just a matter of time. She's going to cross the half marathon line as well. Really, really amazing, guys. You guys are senior runners now, okay? You know that, right? You guys are not junior runners anymore. You guys can give your thought process to others, not just kids, adults I'm talking about. So with that in mind, there are 150 brand new runners this season, of which I think about 50 or so are juniors, like kids like you. And they all are doing it for the first time. So this time I want to start with Sanjana. Some words of advice, words of wisdom that you can give based on your experience to those folks.
So what helped me was whenever my parents, time or place, asked me to run, I would just or do a workout, I would just go do it because I didn't want to miss the workout. And another thing that helped me was having friends to run with me.
Yeah,
It just helped keep me going and just keep running. So
absolutely.
my advice is stick to the schedule, do all the workouts, and run with friends.
Beautiful words. And in these 2 seasons, have you ever missed out any runs?
No, to this day.
Think about that, guys. 2 full seasons, and third season she's on. She has got 5 out of 5 cumulative score, entire season, 2 seasons, and third season running. That from a 10-year-old is an epitome of commitment, dedication, resilience that our Runners High with Bala is all about. Thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for showing the way on how it can do. Age no bar, strength no bar, male, female no bar. All it matters is the will to do, and you guys can go and execute. Amazing. Well done. Anushka, what about you? Some words of wisdom from you.
My advice for new runners would be just Like, believe in the coach and believe in the training. Don't think too much about it. Just go and do it. So, like, for example, if someone's a new runner and they're doing a 5K and they're running their first mile ever, as long as you're putting your foot in front of the other, you're basically just running. Don't think about the distance, don't think about your speed, just run. In the end, you'll be achieving your goal, and by the end of the day, you'll achieve your goal, and you'll literally be taking one step at a time.
Beautiful words. Every mile is worthwhile. Every step is worthwhile. Don't complicate it. Simplify it. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS principle, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Let's not overthink. Just follow the kids. Adults here who are listening, listen to young Anushka, what she's saying. Don't overthink. Coach is thinking for you. You don't have to think. Just follow the coach. That's good enough. And you are getting it done. Amazing. Well done. What about you, Suhani? Some words from you.
I have two words of advice. First off, don't stress and don't really think about what other people can do, because at the end of the day, it's basically yourself that you're going against. I remember when I was running, I'd always be like, he could run so much faster than me. Why can't I run like this? Or why can't I do that? But at the end of the day, your time or your pace doesn't matter as long as you finish it and you get it done with. That's mostly what counts. And also, like you mentioned, it's more mental over physical. At the end of the day, everybody can at least run a mile, but the dedication to get up and decide I want to run without stopping and pushing yourself to run that mile is what you should be most proud of at the end of the day. I think those are my advice.
Golden words. Golden words. Competing against your own self. You are trying to find the new you. That's the idea here. And you are taking your friends to compete against you. Your friends are helping you to compete against your own self. To Sanjana's point, run with your friends so that you can compete better with your own self. And to Anushka's point, while you're doing all that, just keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Just follow the coach. Just read the instructions. Listen to the podcast. Listen to the walk with the coach. Try to think a little bit about it and just execute. That's it. You do this half marathon, full marathon, you will become amazing human beings, strong character, amazing mental strength, great physical strength, a beautiful disposition, an ability to take pain and enjoy pleasures. That's what life is all about, right, kids? And that's what you guys have shown. What an amazing guest. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for your thoughts. Thank you for inspiring me personally with your runs. When I look at you run, some days I feel lazy. And then, for instance, today I talked with you and I feel like going out and doing like a 10-mile run right now. I'm so pumped at this point. So you guys inspire all adults. You should know. You guys are inspiring adults. And we adults require this more than you guys because we want to improve our health. You guys are all healthy. And many of our adults of our age group, we want to make sure we do this right so that we are healthy. And this is the gift you guys are giving us. Okay, you juniors are giving us the gift of motivation that if our kids can do this, we better do it. If kids can make it simple, we can also make it simple. If kids can compete against themselves, we can compete against ourselves. That's the way we are learning from all of you. So thank you guys. What a pleasure. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast with me as well, and I'm sure the audience will enjoy too. Do your homeworks well, study well, enjoy well, listen to your parents, and also teach your parents. Good stuff, guys. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.